Yo, what's up, fellas? We streamed yesterday for the first time in a long time, and I thought that we'd go over a few things because I had a fellow on the stream that said he just didn't know the spawns too well in the map. So we're gonna do another little customs insider thing. Basically, this is boiler side. A lot of people that are advanced in this game that already played a lot will already know this, but there's a couple spawns you can do. You can spawn inside that building I just spawned in. You can spawn on the other side of that wall over there, which I'll show you, and you can also spawn inside Dead Scav. Now when you do spawn inside Dead Scav, be careful, or if you spawn inside that small building I just spawned in, you want to be, again, very careful, because a lot of players will spawn on the other side of that wall right in front of me, and they usually look at it. Now again, I just released a video, my 1v5 clutch that I had, to where I killed a couple guys sitting on top of this bunker. After you kill a couple guys sitting on top of that, after they were in here, usually if you're inside this, you never want to just rush out without checking this spot. A lot of players will actually sit behind that red box. You guys can't see anything on this thermal. People will sit behind this red box over here, or red crate, sorry, or people will sit on top of bunker and they can look inside here. Again, another cheeky spot that you guys can have. It's a little foggy, but if you're up here, you can actually see parts of Camp Rock. There's a spawn right in these bushes right here, right behind what I call Wallet Warehouse. Now, one thing I do want to mention, okay, and obviously you can see inside this, and because you're looking inside of a building, for whatever reason, everything kind of lights up. There's no shadows at all. And then, for whatever reason, none of these cars load from this distance. I honestly have no idea. I don't know why. They used to, but now they don't. So use it to your advantage. There's nothing in your way that obstructs it. The fence will load behind and all the other things, but the cars won't load. So, one other thing I want to show is if you have a pistol, you run faster. Okay? Not your hatchet, but your pistol. If you have a sidearm, you run faster. Now, if you do a thing that is walk forward, sprint, and jump, you'll fly forward. Okay? So just... Alright, I'll show you guys. This is how I make this jump all the time, because people always ask me, you hacker? So you want to get close, I'm going to walk forward and sprint at the same time, okay? Just like that, and then I'm going to jump. It'll take you a few tries. I got it on my second try. Usually I can actually get it on my first now that I've been practicing. And you'll fly over that wall. Sometimes you won't even have the luxury of landing on the wall. You'll just shoot way across and land over here by the train tracks. I don't know why the jump is still in the game, but it is. Alright, now again, we call this med van. My callouts are apparently way different than most people's callouts, so I do apologize for that, but... as you can see, I just made this jump on the forklift. Tyler and I did this jump last night on stream, or attempted to, but this spot right here I like to go to because you can see all of Camp Rocks. And again, you guys can't see shit with the thermal, but you can see all of Camp Rocks right here. Alright, and most people don't sit on Camp Rocks much anymore because it's almost a death sentence, because usually if you're focused on one point shooting, whether that be down at Convenient or over here in Courtyard, somebody else will come around. There's a spot on Overlook. There's a couple spots in Checkpoint. There's that train car I showed you, this spot, to where you can just get shot. It's almost just a death sentence. But you can see people in the background crossing. And what I use quite a bit is this right here. So I'll lay down, and I won't ADS, and I'll just wait. As soon as I see movement, that's when I ADS on something. There's really nothing to show for over here. The one thing I do want to say be careful on, if you're inside of a building, like I said, there's no shadows, so people just glow and highlight. So you do not want to be in a building trying to contest somebody from a distance, because they will see you. Laying in that spot's kind of dangerous unless you get there before they get there. If they're already on Camp Rocks, just leave that spot. Don't even try and contest it. And at the same time, this right here, people like to run inside... this is what I call wallet. People like to run inside Wallet Warehouse, and they like to slow peek this blue fence. Well, when you're up there in Camp Rocks, that blue fence doesn't load. So, and the blue fence is also not bulletproof. Okay. So it's a bad decision. There's one spot I want to show you guys here. So you've got this spot right here. If it'll let me do it. Where you can actually lay prone. Okay. And just watch the gate, because you can see all the way down to admin. Just sit here and watch the gate. Or if you don't want to, try and fuck with laying down like that, here's another cheeky spot. Watch the gate here. And this spot is very difficult to see. The only downside about this spot is people can jump the tracks and circle behind you and then come from alley back here or something, or come through factory and just see you laying there, and you're pretty much just a free kill. And then of course you have factory shortcut or whatever the hell you want to call it. We call it factory or factory shortcut. But anyway, I never use factory shortcut. I don't know what it is about it. I just refuse to use it. Here's my two spots. If I'm inside courtyard, or what I call inside the wall, I always jump porta potties and just get over. And then if I'm outside the wall and I want to get in, I always jump barbed wire here, or I'll just circle around the long way. If somebody's in courtyard, their options to get out are very limited, so you don't have to worry too much about them getting away from you. But if you actually face this, you can jump up here and then jump up on it. Obviously I'm not going to, but alright, so this is actually new side of admin. You'll spawn just right up here on the hill, or down right here by the rocks or other. And when you spawn here, my best bet, because I'm not a huge fan of rushing over to camp rocks, because people spawn in late, they spawn behind you, and then you get sandwiched, and it's whatever. I mean, if I do, usually I wrap that back wall and get a peek over by graffiti, which we'll get to in a second, or I'll peek behind on camp rocks coming through compound. But probably 85% of the time I'll actually come down and then go through the hole by admin and wrap around and go back through dead scav, and then take you pretty much through courtyard and med van and do my usual, my rounds, let's say. If you guys watch my videos, then you know that I had a pretty intense, crazy fight right here that happened. I mean, just pretty much right here. I was laying down just like this, almost in this exact spot actually. But if you do get into a little tussle with somebody on the other side of that wall, or if you know there's somebody there and you're waiting, there are a couple spots that you guys can actually peek here. You got through the tree, okay, which is actually fairly difficult to spot you, but you can see the left side of you. And here's another great spot. Again, it's not the most practical, but you can get people, because people are looking not really at the ground when they come through here. Will they eventually see you? Yeah, and sometimes they'll spot you first, because people like to lay prone on top of this hill. So this is really, I've killed multiple people laying prone underneath that table, because this is how people come through. They'll ADS at the top right here. And if you have a scope, any type of scope, you're never going to see that. This sticks out. You'll see it, but either you're coming around looking up at the top, because this is where like 80% of people camp, or you're just running through like an asshat, and then you just get shot down and killed. Now, if you are on the other side of the wall and you're fighting somebody on this side, I don't know why people don't use this. I have never seen anybody use this spot over here. I mean, you can see everything. You see everything from here. They're camping on the hill, bang bang. They're camping around this area, bang bang, behind the porta potties, which are where most people sit, bang bang. They're camping up by this, bang bang. I mean, I don't know. I never see people use that. You got another little area. You will get hurt, so you will alert people when you go through, but just lay prone, get up, and then lay prone again if you need to. Sometimes it takes 2 times, sometimes it only takes once. Alright, so this is what I call the compound. It's on the new side of the map. We call it new side just because this part of the map, this section of the map was added in after the fact. So if you guys are new players, then this is just going to be a normal map to you, but this is actually the new side. But we call this compound. In my videos, if you ever hear me say new side, this entire side is what I'm talking about. So you can spawn down here, over here by these rocks. And the issue with this spawn right here is it always has an advantage, because If you spawn over here and you rush down to what I call graffiti, there's graffiti all over this rock, okay? And people camp on top of this. They'll lay on top of graffiti all the time. But if you rush over here, you can actually find people spawning right here. People spawn right in front of that antenna, or power line, sorry. People spawn right in front of the power line, right here. And when you start to spawn in, like when you're deploying, or when you're waiting to spawn in, it says a waiting session start, your dude's just standing there. You're in the game, but you're physically not in the game. Or I guess it'd be the other way around. You're physically in the game, but you on your screen, you're not in the game. You're still a waiting session. So when people are spawning in, and if you spawn there, it's a really good possibility that somebody's spawning there. You can just sit here and wait, or you see people just sitting there, and you can just one-tap them. My game's installed on the solid state, so I'm usually one of the first people to load in. If I don't deploy, if I get into a late raid, there's nothing I can do about it. Or if I get the sync bug, there's nothing I can do about it. But 95% of the time, I'm one of the first people to load in. So we call this one tap because you just get one tap. When you spawn in, you would just get one tap because people sit over here and wait. A thing I'll tell people is, as soon as you load your game up for the first time, play a scav and get that first load out of the way, because your first load of the day takes longer than any other load. So if you don't want to have the chance of spawning here and getting one tapped, and granted, it hasn't happened to me in a long time, so if you don't want that possibility, then just scav in first. If you die as a scav, no big deal. Scav spawns are different anyway. So now, one last cheeky spot I want to show you guys, since everything I've been discussing is pretty much for beginner levels. This can help beginners and can also help all you advanced cheeky breekies out there. So let's go ahead and smack it down and show it. First off, you always want to check this bus for the key spawn. You don't need to, but I recommend it. These doors. This is important. Okay. These doors are not bulletproof. They're not. Okay? You can shoot through the doors. So if you're in here waiting and camping and you hear somebody about to open up the door, you can shoot through them. Now for the cheeky breeky spot. A lot of times when you're out here fighting, if it's scav boss or if you're fighting another player, you're trying to siege in on them and you're outside, you're going to be out here with your backs turned to them, trying to fight people on the inside. And then inevitably someone else is going to come from the other side or come from factory or something, and they're going to be over here. Overpass is a great place to go temporarily to kill people at convenient. Tyler and I do it all the fucking time. I don't think there's not a game on customs that we don't go up to Overpass at least once. It's a very common spot for people to go. Or back here on the backside. Okay? Here's a cheeky spot for those of you guys that don't know. You can get inside the bus and have a spot underneath Overpass right here. If you can get somebody off of Overpass, you can actually get the shot to shoot through this van, and it's virtually impossible to see. Okay? If someone's really good and they see movement, maybe, but no one's going to be looking through that to try and kill you. Okay? And the glass doesn't break and crack and get in your way, so it's always a clear shot for people that run underneath the Overpass right here. And usually you can catch people by surprise coming out of blue crate and coming down through here if you're looking through this little crack. Alright, so to the Overpass side. Now my callouts are all fucking jacked, okay? Nobody likes my callouts, so I know no one's going to use them, but this is Overpass, okay? I wonder why. This is Overpass, okay? This right here is in between Overpass, because you're in between, and this is backside Overpass because you're on the backside, and if you follow the tracks through, then you're on new side. That's all I have it for it, okay? There's literally nothing special about this one spot here, other than I would say watch blue crate. People like to come out of blue crate down yonder. You can't see it now because it's foggy, but there's a car right there. That shot is actually zeroed in at 200 meters, and then it goes exactly where your crosshair goes. So, and for those of you that don't know how to zero, it's page up and page down when you're ADS'd. I guess there's really no other things for callouts. Most people are going to use their own callouts, but I do want to show a couple cheeky spots for dorms, and then we'll move over to custom side and show some spawns over there. So moving over here to dorms, we're behind 2-story in the bushes. I call there's a little campsite over here. That's right there. So this is how we differentiate. When you're back here in these woods, it'll be the camp. But if you actually come through here, you can get to a certain spot. Now this is offline mode, so it'd be kind of difficult. Nope, you can still get it. So if you get, like, it's, I don't know, again, I don't know why windows load, windows don't load. They're still there, but they just don't load. Okay, and neither do doors. Nothing loads. So you got to be careful whenever you get the spot. But a lot of players, if they go out on balcony right here, or if they're on marked, and like so many players will camp 3rd floor over there. If you get in this spot right here, none of the windows and shit load, and like I said, none of the doors load. So you pretty much have a free shot down inside 3rd floor, and you can see if people are camping inside there or not. Anyway, this up here, if someone's camping in 2-story, 90% of the time they're camping all the way down by this last door, because you can't go through this door right here. So if you actually lay prone right here, you can see people come up from the stairs, or you can see people come through here. Okay, I don't know why, but I open that door all the time, and I run over here to what I call the magic tree. I don't actually call it that, so don't call it that, but I'll come over here and I can see everything. Okay, so I always open that to psych people out, to make them look, and then I'll just come over here and I usually can just get a few taps on them. It only takes me 1 or 2 shots to kill them, and then they're dead. So there's that. That's very simple on dorms. That's really all it is. You guys saw me siege yesterday on dorms. That's usually how I siege it all the time. Speaking of dorms, though, one thing I don't like, you guys are like, dude, this video fucking sucks, bro. It's just going on for so long. Sorry, I'm a talker. If you guys don't know this, I'm a talker. So, on the stairs, here's my issue with the stairs. Okay, sieging from inside. I had guys that I killed yesterday in that door over there. Okay, and I had guys all the way down here at this door down there. All right. If I come up on the stairs and I go to siege this, I can get a kill. Okay, almost guaranteed I can probably get a kill. But I'm going to die to this guy. Okay, so if you ever see me clear dorms, I usually do that. I usually come through, because this, you got a handy dandy little locker here that blocks just a hair of it. So if you hug this back wall and peek real quick and run back, they don't have a chance to see you unless they're holding this tight angle right there. But most people either will sit here and hold this angle. They don't even want to look down the hallway. Or most people will sit right here and hold this angle. They can see you, but not enough of your body to one-tap you. Maybe enough to black an arm, but that's about it. So, next thing, same thing when you come up to 3rd. Because of this bookshelf here, you can kind of peek this just a little bit. But you want to be very careful, because this door doesn't need to be locked. And most people just sit here and camp literally just right here. So, it's one of those annoying, very iffy things. Now, a spot that I like is actually right here. You know, everybody knows that I like my sitting spots. I like to camp up, as a lot of you guys say it. I like to camp up places, and I'll just sit here and I'll see people, because people always come to this hill. Most of the time they hug this left side, so it's kind of difficult. But you can sit in this spot right here and see people, especially if they're crossing the wall by camp, which is back over there. I still go inside the building all the time. Matter of fact, we can go ahead and show you guys a spot I used on stream, which is, in my opinion, I'm surprised more people don't use it, but if you sit inside here, you can obviously see this pretty well. A lot of people will lay prone right inside these bushes and try and shoot you. You can actually hug this over here and see back down by the rubble pile, which people set it all the time, and hug this corner when they peek down. See through here. You can see everything. But the problem with this is you're open too, so they see you as well. This spot, however, they can't. So I don't know what your guys' key bindings are, okay? But for whatever your slow lean is, you can get a perfect lean right here for when people peek that crate and get a free shot on them. Okay? So moving on to another cheeky spot. So we call this ninja because you have to jump across there. I don't know why, but it's just called ninja. So if you do the fast jump, or you can even make it like I just did. Up here is a great spot to hold. You can see like all of alleyway, and this door actually doesn't load. There is a door there, but it doesn't load, so you can see people crossing. It's lovely. But anyway, I sit here sometimes. Normally I go across here, and I bet I'm not even gonna be able to make the jump. Okay, I did. So I like to go on top of propanes because a couple reasons. One, this tree here pretty much blocks vision from on hill. Okay, and you're on top of one of these tankers. Nobody fucking looks up here. We got a couple kills sitting over here. I had a couple guys literally walk right by here and didn't even look at me. They had all this time to come from over here, and they walked all the way through and never once saw me. And I was shooting. They thought maybe I was down over here or something. I don't know what the hell they thought, but they never shot at me. So again, a great spot. If you can make it, this jump is kind of a bitch, but if you can make it, this spot is also really good. It just puts you more exposed up here, but I do actually like to sit in this spot just as much because I can see further down this way without that tree being in the way. I can still see overpass. I can come down here if I need to see behind bus. And I actually have complete vision on hill. And this is pretty big because a lot of players like to camp on hill. Alright, so we are on trash side. Now, you can spawn down in that ditch or right next to that train car right there. I haven't spawned here in a while. So I don't even know if that spawn's still in the game. I would assume it would be because I haven't seen him take out any spawns. But you will spawn inside this area sometimes. There's a key inside that bus, but I don't have to tell you guys about key spawns. I've skipped most of them anyway. And then the other spot you can actually spawn on over here is down there by that bus, which is what Tyler and I call bus spawn. Normally if we spawn here, because of players sometimes spawning here, shooting you through ridiculous angles and cracks, we'll rush straight inside the storage unit or come through this ditch right here. On storage, there's really no way, I mean, there's really nothing that needs to be said. People get on top a bunch of different ways. Get on top right there by the blue fence. There's actually a ramp on the other side, or you can jump off of this onto there and go on there. I'm pretty sure you can get on from the car by jumping onto there, by jumping up. Pretty simple. And there's another spot over here with the barrels. Nobody actually uses this spot anymore. I'm a little bit shocked. People used to use it. I used to use this spot all the time, but there's never really any fights inside storage anymore. So it's kind of disappointing. I used to use that to get out and evade all the time, but nobody ever does that. Here's another spot to get up on top of the roof. There's like I said, there's that spawn. You can spawn here too, which we call loot van, because there's actually a box to loot inside that van. From my experience playing this wipe, if you spawn, I'll show you guys in a second. So once you can either spawn here, you can spawn right inside the storage unit right there, and then normally the only other spawn, there's only two other spawns around here, and that is, if I can get to it and show you guys without so there's this spawn right here where you actually spawn inside by this blue building, or you'll spawn over here by the crack, usually out by the trains, but those are the only spawns. There's no secret here. People that spawn in this outskirts, I don't know why the train came back, but a lot of players will sit inside these storage units and just wait for the time to tick down. And then if you spawn in crack over here, or you spawn in trash over there, they just rush across to the other side. Like, people want to get off of this custom side as fast as possible. The only thing that I would say is people are going to rush, and it never fails. People that actually want to loot and or are doing quests, especially early in the wipe, a lot of your fights will happen within these walls, and most of them will happen within this building, because there's quests up inside that room and you need them. There's a bunch of computers up there for your graphics card quests, although most people just do interchange for that. But this is pretty much a hot spot, so if you're ever curious, you have to have the customs office key to get inside there, but a lot of players will rush either inside here or rush across. There's never really any spot to hold, and that's just what it is, you know. There's nothing else to be said about it. Another thing, though, I guess I can show you guys this spot. you can actually walk up here onto this and see pretty much all the storage. This spot is nothing new, so if you're up here, you will be seen by these people, so especially a bunch of scavs too. But that pretty much does it for this little Customs Insider coming from me, which is Customs is like 99% of the map, or 99% of all my playtime is on this map. There's no way for me to tell you guys about all my skill without you guys just watching my plays. Everything is situational, all the way from that 1v5 clutch I had to where I was up on top of that building, all the way to whenever I decided to get my kills and wrap around to come through, all the way around to peeking from behind. It's all situational. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. All you guys got to do, just get map knowledge, and that's what I'm here to teach you guys, so you know when the best time to be situational is. That's pretty much it though. F Focus, Customs Insider, God of Customs, King of Customs. Customs is my bitch. And you guys just got some tidbits on it. So hopefully you guys can enjoy it. Ever get any cool things, you know, take a screenshot of it, record it, send it to me. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see all you guys' stuff. I'm thinking that for everything, if I get enough clips and stuff like that, we're gonna do a little just a custom creation of my viewers and some footage that they sent me. I have my email on my YouTube. You guys can always email them there. On Discord, you guys can always send me a link. Hopefully you guys give me permission to use them. If not, then I'll just look at them and view them, and I'll give you some of my feedback. Even if you die, if you guys die and you record that, send it to me, and I'll make a video, like just a compilation of it, of all the clips I get, or I'll just do, you know, personally to you. And I'll say, hey, here's what you could have done differently coming from my perspective, because I'm by no means, you know, the best player in this game, but so even anybody that's looking at it from the outside can see more things. Like even when I make my plays, people all the time comment on my videos and say, oh dude, look at that, there was a guy right to your right. And I'm like, yeah, I see that now when I was making my footage, but you got to understand that in the heat of the moment you don't see that kind of stuff. So it's the same way if you guys want to send me your footage. So anyway, that's going to do it. We're going to sign out. Sorry for the long video. I know most of you guys don't want to sit through it. That's fine. But for those of you that did, I appreciate it. So without further ado, hit that like button, subscribe, share if you want to. And as always, enjoy.